I've been at Chinese family camp for 12 years now, since I was about 1 year old.
I started coming a couple years ago, maybe like 3 years ago.
I was less than a year old when I first came to Chinese family camp.
Maybe 3 years. About 5 years.
This is our second year at Chinese family camp.
My kids and I have been coming to camp for 13 years. After the first time we went to camp, they cried when we left and made me promise to always bring them.
I first went to camp in 1971 when I was 10 years old. So I've been at a Chinese family camp as a preteen, as a teen, and now as an old adult. I'm still coming.
My favorite activity is swimming. I went to the pool and I did bowling and it was really fun.
There's singing, a lot of good food.
We have dances with a DJ and just fun stuff, and it's fun to be able to participate in these activities with, Chinese people that might have had the same experiences as you've had.
We do have teen education where we learn a little bit about language and about our history.
Since we have this shared heritage, we want to celebrate that. So we learn about the history of China, the dynasties, the festivals, all their great technological inventions.
The overlying philosophy is we're all here because we want to promote the Chinese language and culture.
I have been teaching languages for many years. What guides the way I teach is that I believe it should be fun, and it should pique people's interest, and it should be interactive.
It used to be hardcore. Our parents were drilling us on Chinese characters and language and trying to drill it, pack it all into a week as much as they could. And I will say I learned my Chinese numbers.
So how is your Chinese language?
It's not the greatest, but I can say it's definitely improved since I've been at camp.
You won't come back fluent in language. You will come back with phrases and a sense of fun about what Chinese language is.
We do a lot of arts and crafts. Sometimes we make fun horses. Sometimes we do stuff about ink on popsicle sticks, and we make really cool stuff.
My background is art education, and so I've just always been interested in crafts and art. Every year at camp we choose a theme for the education part of it, and then it comes back. Someday something may jog their memory and they think, oh, at camp they said something about that.
But tell me, Mr. Camp Director, why do you have a Chinese family camp?
Oh, we once tried Chinese microbiology lab, but no work, too much culture.
We're not specifically a culture camp, but there is a lot of culture that is experienced or learned about. For example, the respect for elders. So when we line up for food, we have sort of a buffet, it's always grandparents first. So that's a respect for elders that's what we do. That's part of Chinese culture, and we don't think twice about that.
You feel very comfortable at being at camp because it's a Chinese family camp, and being Chinese American, as soon as you're in an environment with other people similar to yourself, there's an element of safety, peace, comfort, relaxation, because you're alike.
During free time we have, when we're just goofing off or just hanging out, that's probably the most fun part of camp, when you're just with your friends.
It's nice to see them, 1 week out of the year and talk about what we're doing with our lives and just spend another week with each other where we can be ourselves.
Because I'm from LA, there's a lot of other Asian people and there's a lot of white people, but around the Asian people I'm kind of seen as the white one, and around my white friends I'm kind of seen as the Asian ones. But everybody here, we talk about accepting each other and not having stereotypes, and you fit in without any problems, or you don't have to worry about who you are, and you can have fun, and it's an escape.
There's adopted kids from China with white parents, and there's half Chinese people, and there's some just eighth Chinese people, or they're just not Chinese at all. But we're all family basically at this camp.
Because they can kind of meet new friends and just connect with others and know how they feel and that they're not alone.
And what I've done is, I feel like, give my girls aunts, uncles, and cousins who are Chinese, which I couldn't give. I could give them German ones, but I couldn't give them Chinese relatives. And that's what I've done, I feel like, by coming to Chinese Family Camp.
We were welcomed as family from day one. And it's special to me because obviously I'm not Chinese and she is. It gives us a connection to people who are like us and people who have the same ethnicity as she does, in a way that we have connections that will help her and me as she grows older.
We have a very undiverse population where we live in northern Michigan, and they've been the only Chinese kids in school, which is not really comfortable. And they've been the victims of some discriminatory things, and it's good for them to come here, talk to other kids, find out they're not alone in the world, and to know the things that we find out about being Chinese here. It's not deep, but it's wide.
My daughter was born in China. She's Chinese. It's important for her to see her culture reflected. And it's important for her to be in a place where she can be completely herself. Chinese Family Camp is that.
Within the space of a generation, we have changed the ethnic makeup of the camp, but yet not the spirit of the camp. People still love cooking together, people still love playing games together, playing tennis, riding bikes, and most importantly, keeping the cultural heritage alive by sharing that with our own children.
I came to camp one time in 1982 when I was a teenager. We didn't have a lot of Asians where I lived, and here there were just all these Asians, and they were funny and they were different and they were doing all kinds of things. And then I didn't think about it for many years. But then when I had my own children and I moved back to Chicago, I wondered, gee, I wonder if that camp still exists. So I Googled it, and sure enough, it did exist. And I found it, and I looked it up and hooked up with it, and kind of continued right where I left off.
I was actually pretty shy at first, but then as I got used to everyone and I got to know everyone, but since they were very welcoming, I got more brave, I guess, and I made more friends.
I kind of felt a little nervous because there were new people, and sometimes I'm a little shy around new people. I gradually made some friends.
I think that we thought that it would be an extension of maybe something good for our kids, especially when they were little, to have some exposure to Chinese adults that were maybe more like them in a way, that were kind of American Chinese versus Chinese American, that maybe that American part was a little bit bigger, a portion of their identity. So just wanted to give them maybe, not necessarily this isn't China, obviously, but just a little bit more of an authentic of what they could look toward adults and see the adult that they might become, that would be a very good thing. And I think it's really helped them do that.
When I first came to camp, I was a little skeptical. Well, what's this going to be like? I don't really know anybody, and what are we going to do for a week? But once you get here, it's just such a comfortable feeling. And you're doing things you like to do, and then you make friends for life.
I liked how it was very carefree and how most of the other kids were Asian, since I didn't always see that in my school.
At first when I came, I was kind of a stranger and I didn't know anybody, but everybody's super welcoming and we're all family, so we all hung out and lived together for a week, so we're super close.
They just learned so much about China and how it is to be in a Chinese family. The aunts and uncles are great, the grandparents have been great, and they really feel comfortable and loved here, and I think it's a wonderful place to be. I love it, and I'll probably come when the kids are not coming anymore.
There is still a large Chinese population, folks who have immigrated from China, who are disconnected from their bigger family. There's room for you here at camp, and we can be family for you. There are still families with adopted children who, just like me, really want the opportunity to provide aunties, uncles, cousins who are Chinese, and we have room for you and we need you. And for families that are multiracial, there are multiracial families here, and a real chance to connect, again, with the Chinese part of your heritage.
We all have a shared Chinese cultural heritage, and we just want to continue that and pass that on, and those good values about being respectful to other people and taking care of people and family. But then it's American too. So there's fun, there's doing all kinds of activities, there's being silly and safe. It's just great.